nominated Mitt Romney not that long ago.
Right.
Did you support Mitt Romney?
If he had an R by his name in the general election, he was nominated in the year that we had our state convention in Columbus, Georgia.
Do you think the party has changed too much? Or do you like where it is now?
Oh, I think it's changed a lot. I think it's changed a lot where we're more serious with the issues that we have facing us today.
I'm being told that Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance is coming in, and I'll send it back to you guys, but I'll also say your wife said, I'm sorry.
She said y'all the best,
their president, former President Trump is now.
Of anybody.
Your wife said what?
Y'all are the best coverage of this convention, period.
Well, I had to get that in. I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, we appreciate that very much. Thank you so much to that gentleman. As you can see now, that is the Trump family being welcomed into the family box there by former President Donald Trump. For the first time in this convention, we are seeing both Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner, we know played such crucial roles in the first Trump administration, and they are here tonight for this final night of the convention. You see his daughter Tiffany as well, other members of the family all filing in. It's like the whole family is here tonight for the first time. And there, of course, is former President Trump himself. We understand that Melania Trump will be joining a little bit later this evening. Just a note, we're still waiting for the arrival of J.D. Vance and his family. We do expect that at some point. The family walks in as the music continues to play. And just a programming note for those of you staying with us, thanks for joining us. You're watching PBS News live coverage of the final night of the Republican National Convention. There's been some 15 to 20 minutes of straight music being played for this last stretch of time, which we weren't, to be perfectly honest, expecting to happen. So we are watching this unfold along with all of you at home. Of course, among the featured speakers tonight, as we noted earlier, some particularly pugilistic voices. Among them, former wrestler Hulk Hogan, we expect to take the stage at some point, and it looks like this video is introducing him right now. Let's take a look at the stage.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense, the energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was going to press that no good stinky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're gonna bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother. You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans. You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald J. Trump becomes the president of the United States, all the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites. Because all the Trumpites are going to be running wild for 4 years. So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is going to get back on track. And like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again. You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again. You know something, Trumpites? I didn't come here as Hulk Hogan, but I just had to give you a little taste. You know, my name is Terry Bollea. And as an entertainer, I love you too. And as an entertainer, I tried to stay out of politics. But after everything that's happened to our country over the past 4 years, and everything that happened last weekend, I can no longer stay silent. I'm here tonight because I want the world to know that Donald Trump is a real American hero. And I'm proud to support my hero as the next president of this United States. You know, guys, I've known Donald Trump for over 35 years. You know, hold on a second, hold on. I just had a flashback. Man. This is really tripping. You know, the last time I was up on stage, Donald Trump was sitting at ringside at the Trump Plaza. I was bleeding like a pig, and I won the world title right in front of Donald J. Trump. And you know something? He's gonna win in November, and we're all gonna be champions again when he wins. And like I said, I've known that man for over 35 years. And he's always been the biggest patriot, and he still is. He's always told you exactly what he thought, and he still does, brother. And no matter the odds, he always finds a way to win. And when he's back in our White House, America is going to start winning again. You know, guys, over my career, I've been in the ring with some of the biggest, some of the baddest dudes on the planet. And I've squared off against warriors, ooh yeah, savages. And I've even, like I said, body slammed giants in the middle of the ring. And I know tough guys. But let me tell you something, brother. Donald Trump is the toughest of them all. They've thrown everything at Donald Trump. All the investigations, the impeachments, the court cases, and he's still standing and kicking their butts. You know, we never had it better than the Trump years. Back then, we had a thriving economy. We had strong borders. We had safe streets. We had peace and respect around the world. But then we lost it all in a blink of an eye. Crime is out of control. The border is out of control. The price of food and gas and housing is out of control. And the only person who can clean this up is Donald Trump. You know, guys, I really, really love this country. And I've lived the American dream. And I want my kids, your kids, and all those little teeny Hulkamaniacs out there to live the American dream too. This November, guys, we can save the American dream for everyone. And Donald Trump is the president who will get the job done. So all you criminals, all you lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother. What you gonna do when Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother? God bless you, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and President of Samaritan's Purse, the Reverend Franklin Graham.
Good evening. I've got the hardest job tonight. I have to follow Hulk Hogan. But I stand here tonight as a private citizen who loves this country. I've been asked to say a few words and then to pray, and we're going to do that. Last Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania, President Trump had a near-death experience. No question. But God spared his life. And when we go through those experiences, it changes us. It can cause us to examine our lives and to reevaluate our priorities, as you should. When President Trump rose from that platform, he rose with his fist raised in strength, showing America his unshakable resolve to fight for them in this nation. I cannot explain why God would save one life and allow another one to be taken. I don't have the answer for that. But one thing I do know is that God loves us, and he wants us to be with him in heaven one day. And that's through faith in his son, Jesus Christ. You see, the Bible says that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shouldn't perish, but should have everlasting life. For as long as I've known President Trump, I've found him to be a man of his word. Things that he said he'll do, he did. When he told me and our country in 2016 that he was going to appoint conservative justices, guess what? He did. In 2016, he said he would defend religious liberty, and guess what? He did. In 2019, I was with him at the United Nations when the first president of history of this country stood there to advocate for religious liberty worldwide. When American citizen and Pastor Andrew Brunson was being held in a Turkish jail on false accusations, President Trump demanded that he be released. And he applied economic pressure and sanctions until they did that. I'm grateful and thankful for what he did as a 45th president of the United States. And I know that as the 47th president, he will keep his word to the American people to make America great once again. It's an honor for me to be asked to pray for Donald Trump this evening. And so what I'd like to do, I'd like us to pray, but I'd like us all to stand as we call upon the name of the God of heaven. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts. Thank you for saving the life of President Donald J. Trump. In his own words, it was you and you alone who saved him. We pray for the others that were injured on Saturday, for the family who lost their loved one. Put your loving arms around them. Comfort them, and may they sense your presence. We stand before you tonight. We say thank you for the provisions you have given to the United States of America. You have blessed this country more than any country in the world. Sadly, as a nation, we have forgotten who is responsible for all the freedoms, the liberties, and the bounty that we enjoy. It has all come for you. Thank you. This evening, our nation is in trouble. We're divided politically, racially, economically, with millions of people seeking refuge and hope in our dry and thirsty land. You're the only one who can fix the complexity of the problems that we face today. We pray for President Trump, that you would give him wisdom, strength, and a clear vision for the future of this nation and the task that is at hand. Continue to protect him from his enemies. I pray that you would surround him with men and women who will give him sound counsel and guidance. We pray for Melania, for Barron, and for all the President Trump's children and grandchildren. We pray for Senator J.D. Vance, his wife Usa, along with their young family. We're thankful for his strong stand for defending life. As your word instructs, we also pray for the leaders of our nation, whether they're Republican, Democrat, or independent. We know that all authority comes from you. You are a great God, and we ask that if it be thy will, that you will make America great once again. And we ask that you'll unite our hearts, bring us together, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we pray this in the mighty name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome businessman and Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, Eric Trump.
Good evening, America. Eight years ago, my father sat our family down. He spoke of a nation in decline, of dreams slipping away, of a future endangered by failed leadership and broken promises. It was in that moment I knew my father had made a decision that would forever change our lives. We realized he had chosen to step into the arena, to fight for the soul of America. He had decided to leave behind the comforts of an unbelievable business empire, to leave behind everything he had ever built, to answer the call to serve our nation. Unlike his predecessor, it was not a decision born out of necessity. Unlike the current president, it was not a decision that would enrich his family. Rather, it was a decision made out of love for this country and a deep concern for America's future. My father was clear it would not be easy, that there would be a huge price to pay, and that the attacks would be vicious. Looking back, that was an understatement. The made-up Russia hoax, the sham impeachments, the efforts to destroy an unbelievable company, a company that I run today, the efforts to cancel us, to silence him, to gag his free speech, and to drag him through every radical left courthouse in America, to take his life. Yet through it all, he's shown unwavering courage and determination, not just in public, but in every private conversation with me and our family. He stood tall, fueled not by personal ambition, but by a profound love for this country and a love for all of you, the American people. That man is my father. That man is the 45th president and soon to be 47th president of the United States. That man is Donald J. Trump. Each time I've stood on this stage, America has been at a dire crossroads. In 2016, many people began to doubt the promise of America. Our economy was struggling, jobs were scarce, our standing on the world stage was weak at best. Veterans were forgotten, our military was in shambles, our educational system was broken, ranked 30th in the world. He could no longer tolerate an inept administration that handed $150 billion to Iran, a country that chants death to America, or witness the continued attacks on our Constitution and our religious liberty, or see the disrespect shown to our unbelievable law enforcement officers who are being disarmed, defunded, and persecuted each and every day. He could no longer stand to see words like Christmas stripped from public use, or the Pledge of Allegiance removed from our schools. But my father saw potential where others saw despair. Donald Trump built the New York City skyline. He did so during a time when businesses were turning away from the city he loved. Crime was rampant. The streets were dirty, but he had the Midas touch, and he turned those streets and neighborhoods into gold. He faced every challenge with tremendous vision and grit. As he did during the 2016 election, he rolled up his sleeves. He remained unapologetic. He did not care to be politically correct. He restored hope. He restored a voice to millions of Americans who had been ignored. He restored the American dream. Under my father's leadership, the economy climbed to record heights. Jobs were created at an unthinkable pace. Unemployment reached historic lows across all demographics. Wage growth soared. He cut taxes for hardworking families and businesses. He slashed regulations. We saw the greatest 401k increase in American history. People bought their first homes in an environment that saw 2 to 3% interest rates. They started their families. My father made the United States energy independent with the lowest gas prices in decades. My father made the United States safe. Our borders were closed. There was peace in the Middle East. Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, the terrorists were dead. My father made the United States respected again, with the courage to walk into countries like North Korea, with the courage to impose tariffs on China, and with the courage to tear up trade deals that cost Americans their jobs. He brought manufacturing back to America. Small businesses flourished. He did what he promised. He put America first. We were winning. Donald Trump made America great again. But he also created a movement that threatened the special interests in the political elites, a movement that cast a bright light on the institutions weaponized against the American people. You see it in our schools. God bless the moms who fought back. You see it in your workplace. You see it on every news station, in every newspaper. You see it in the military. The most iconic military installations on planet Earth are stripped of their identity and renamed. Fort Bragg, Benning, Fort Hood. You see it in Hollywood. You see it in our two-tier judicial system. They don't even hide it anymore. My father has been censored. The former president ripped off Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook while terrorist organizations remain intact. My father has been persecuted, targeted by far-left Democrats funded by special interest groups and hand-picked judges. My father has been pulled off the ballots of states, radical justices attempting to defy the will of millions of Americans who adore who he is and what he stands for. My father even became the target of an assassin who almost killed America's single greatest hope for our future. The swamp is terrified of this incredible movement. They're terrified of it. They're terrified of you and the tens of millions of people watching us on TV right now. They've tried everything to keep him from you, everything, to destroy his legacy, to destroy his family. They have failed, and they will not win. I love my Florida delegation right here. Thank you. My father stands before you with the most votes of any Republican candidate in the history of our nation. He has defied the predictions of every political pundit. He fills stadiums across our country. He energizes Americans to the issues facing this nation and does so with unvarnished honesty. He is not a threat to democracy. He is a threat to those who despise our republic, many whom are bought and sold, bribed and coerced, people who have never signed the front of a check and who have been dependent on the government their entire adult lives. Today, as it was in 2016, America's at that crossroads again. Energy prices are soaring. Interest rates are crippling. Everything is unaffordable. The US dollar has been diminished. Inflation has made it impossible for Americans to live, to save for their future. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Our border is out of control. Millions are dead and displaced in Russia and Ukraine, a war that has no end and a war that we are funding. The Middle East has become a hornet's nest. Our greatest ally, Israel, totally under siege. Fentanyl is killing our youth and destroying families, while the current administration stands idly by, hoping their inaction will import illegal votes. Crime terrorizes our cities and our suburbs as far-left policies handcuff police. Male athletes, guys my height, 6'5", are swimming in women's sports. Destroying the dreams of young girls who have trained every minute of their lives. We no longer trust our elections. We no longer trust our judicial system, and we no longer believe that our government is working in our best interest. In spite of where we are today as a nation, I'd like to speak to every American. To the homeless veteran sleeping under a bridge as illegal immigrants are housed in the most expensive hotels in New York. I'm sorry. We know it's wrong, and we will fix it. To the single mother who can no longer afford her rent, afford groceries, and has been forced to work 3 jobs, I'm sorry. It does not have to be this way. To the parents who lost a son or daughter to fentanyl, including the incredible woman that spoke the other night, while an administration does absolutely nothing, I'm sorry. Your government can do so much better, and it will. To the children who are being brainwashed instead of learning the fundamentals of school, I'm sorry. There are teachers who care, and my father will empower them. To the law enforcement officers, our brave Border Patrol, Secret Service agents who work every single day to protect our communities, knowing damn well that the system will throw you under the bus, I'm sorry. We will stand behind you. To commuters often petrified to take a bus, take a train, or walk the streets in cities across our nation, I'm sorry. That man right there will fix this. To the construction workers, to the middle-class families, to the families with children with disabilities, families who can no longer afford medical benefits or to take a vacation, I'm sorry. We will make America great again. And to my father, who has been ruthlessly silenced, slandered, and attacked by a corrupt administration, I'm sorry. We know, and America knows, that they're not just after you, they're after all of us, and you just happen to be standing in their way. To all Americans watching tonight, the greatest retribution will be our success. Success not just for ourselves, but for our grandchildren and our children. Under President Donald J. Trump, the swamp will be drained. America will be respected. Our cities will be safe. Our streets will be clean, and our border will once again be secure. We will have peace. We will have prosperity. Your hard-earned tax dollars will enrich a better America, not be squandered in corrupt foreign nations. Education will be handed back to the states. We will no longer be 30th in the world. We will be first. Our children will understand family, our children will have values, and our children will love God. Our country will prioritize free speech, respect freedom of religion, and honor our Constitution. As his son, I've never been more proud of a person in my life. A man who has defied all odds more than once. A man who believed in the promise of America when others turned away. A man who saw a nation in need of a champion and answered that call with unwavering determination and courage. A man who survived a bullet that was intended to eliminate him permanently from our future and from our family. Never have I been more proud to be a Trump. Never have I been more proud to stand by my father's side. I remain incredibly honored to be part of this journey, a journey with all of you, a journey to save the greatest country on earth, a journey with the most incredible people I have ever met. Dad, 5 days ago, Laura, Luke, Carolina, and I held our breath as we saw blood pour across your face. By the grace of God, divine intervention, and your guardian angels above, you survived. You are the greatest fighter I have ever seen. You are strong, you are full of life, and you are unapologetic. Your optimism is contagious. Your backbone is unbreakable. Your conviction to fight for what is right and against all that is wrong is truly next level. The whole world saw your strength as you stood up. You wiped the blood off your face, and you put your fist in the air in a moment that will be remembered as one of the most courageous acts in the history of American politics. You shouted, "Fight, fight, fight!" I'm honored to be your son. I'm honored to speak to our great nation tonight. You are a true leader. You epitomize strength. Our country loves you. Our country appreciates you. Our country misses you. And on November 5th, our country will re-elect you as the 47th President of the United States of America. Good night, Milwaukee. God bless you all.
Trump with a full-throated defense of his father on the final night of the Republican National Convention. Judy Woodruff joins our gathering here in the booth. Judy, you've been talking to delegates all day. What have they been telling you about what they've heard this past week? And I'd love to get your reflections on what we just heard there from.
Go. What do you think so far, man?
Pure trash.
All this unity in the air, man. Boy, this unity is something else, isn't it?
This is straight garbage, man. Straight garbage. Pure right.
I mean,
you know, just their talking points. They're on they're on their talking points, and just talking. Their typical usual stuff, man. This is their typical fanfare, man. Wow. Man. I mean, wow.
Okay, so we had Hulk Hogan come up there. The Real Americans. Yeah, that's real unifying, right? Real Americans. Then we had, the Graham guy, nonprofit organization money, bilking people out of millions, not really fighting for health care for anybody, but care so much about the unborn, which actually having an actual kid when you cannot afford it is going to lead you to a lifetime of a long-term problem. Then you had Eric Trump come up and say all of the things that, like this was supposed to be a call for unity. So, okay, so he removed all the stuff out of his speech and he gave it to other people to say. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, yeah.
That is crazy. And now we're going to a commercial break at the time he's supposed to be talking. What is going on here?
Yeah, this is yeah, they're talking about crime at record numbers and all. They're talking all the same old talking points that are really not accurate. They're talking about I don't know what he has no plan for doing anything but saying I will solve all the problems. Where have we heard that
I'll fix
before?
everything.
I'll
fix it all, man.
When and where have we heard that before?
Nagone, I'll fix it all. You just
I alone can fix it. I remember him saying all that. This is all this is the same old thing. And what has he done? Nothing. Tax cuts for the super rich, failure at COVID, and a failed presidency. So
giving the treasury away to businesses, large multinational companies.
That's what they're talking about here, man. That's what they're talking about here. Look at here, what plans do they have? I don't see anything coming out of this, except the same old right wing, stuffed mummies coming out, aping the same crap that they were doing, 4 years before. No change.
Wow. I mean, we have to sit here and pretend like somebody should drop out of the race.
I mean, people are talking about Biden should run from this. Get out of the race. Look at these. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, in all honesty, let's really look at and assess what we're looking at here.
Hey man, that's Citizens United and Party insiders talking. That's not until I hear from the candidate, it ain't official. I don't care about these media insiders. Like I don't care about these people's opinion on the screen. They may be PBS, but they're heavily donated to by other people. And if you want news to change, you have to remove the corporate aspect from news. News should be like a C-SPAN. It should be available to everybody. It should even be available on analog kind of, it should be available to everyone. Like news should be available to everyone. Non-spin, just fact-based things. But once you add and inject feeling and emotion and culture into it, then it's no longer news. Just isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're supposed to sit here for how long? And no one is talking about why his wife is not with him.
Melania is not there.
I mean, she's
Melania,
there now. No, she's on screen now. But she just
okay.
got
Oh,
there.
here she is. Okay, yeah, I do see her walking up now. Yeah, I do see her. All right. Well, let her walk up. All right. She has been rather thin in the public eye recently. But anyway, I really want to hear, what real platforms what real platform are these guys going to be running on, and they're just it's the same old same, man. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything new or hearing anything different. Not that I expected it, but that this is about what I expected, and this is about what we're getting.
And there's a lot of people in this space who claims to be which is on them, part of the party that or they have this renewed kind of support. But I didn't see any of these people covering anything from the RNC.
No, I haven't seen it either.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen it either. I haven't
Like
seen it either.
I have never seen a speech at the convention that cuts to a commercial break before the actual speech from the actual person. I have never seen that. I have never seen it.
I haven't seen much either. I'm watching this. Like I said, I like to watch these conventions. I like to see people bring out their best, see what kind of bump they get after the convention, see what's really going to hype them up, and what we are is we're seeing fundamental MAGA, the Republican Party now that is fundamentally a MAGA party. MAGA.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, no
And
doubt.
all others are kind of washed out, and this is what you have. This is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
They're talking about Franklin Graham and all that. What does he really bring into the party? I guess he's trying to bring in some aspects of the.
This dude been awful quiet. He's been awful quiet this entire time.
Yeah.
Even during COVID, quiet then too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is where we are. So, those people gave their pitch. Now we're gonna have like what, an hour of spin before he actually gives his actual speech. Like, what is this? Is this a whole infomercial for what? What's going on, man?
Well, I'd like to see certainly what what they're going to talk about, bringing to the table, and I think their biggest piece is the 2025 issue that they look to have to really just try to take over the government and handle things that way. They don't really have any real plans for anything except coming here and try to snatch as much power as possible.
Given to them by the Supreme Court, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that the presidency is very minor. All the judges that you get to seat at the local level, at the federal level, that means a lot, especially the Supreme Court. If somebody dies or is removed from office or they leave, hold on, let's see. Oh boy, let's see what's going on this damn screen.
There are edges to be softened, I think, about him. So no doubt that's part of what they're trying to do.
And we know a big part of the narrative we've heard from a number of speakers, Amy, has been that the media has been lying to you about who this man is, that the story that you've heard is not who he is.
Right.
There seems to be some sort of narrative resetting here, a rewriting of the history.
Yeah, of course. And these are the people who are most likely to believe that the media writ large is not telling the full story, and they've believed that for a long time. I want to pick up on David's point about the anger and the fighting. That's really been the theme of tonight. It's not just the strong piece of having a guy rip his shirt open, and we're going to soon get the head of the UFC, but this idea that we have been wronged, not just as a Donald Trump has been wronged. Donald Trump has been maligned. And then we, people in this room and people who support Donald Trump, have also been wrong. And Eric Trump went through the list of things, right? We're going to fix all these things. Children who are being brainwashed, the corrupt nations getting our money. Our children are going to love God. This goes to the grievance and the defiance that you heard. I was just going through Trump's 2016 RNC acceptance speech, and it sounds almost, it's obviously a lot longer, but it's basically in the same frame as the Eric Trump speech. So this will always be a part of Trumpism, which is the sense of the anger, of the we've been wronged.
And even, I mean, I'm thinking of his inauguration.
Oh, well,
address.
yeah.
American carnage, right? And he was coming to, frankly, save us from how he found America when he was elected president in 2016. You get the sense of that. I wrote down what Eric described. Eric Trump said. And now, of course, I can't find it.
He was also president. He has a record by which he can be judged. So when Eric Trump is promising this campaign promise of a manufacturing resurgence, Donald Trump promised a manufacturing boom not too far from here by way of Foxconn. 13,000 jobs that were supposed to be connected to that, and that never materialized.
Well, so now you can
And so-
appreciate how frustrated, why President Biden is saying, I can't, what is that Saturday Night Live skit? I can't believe I'm losing to this guy.
Or
right?
even immigration. When he was elected, Republicans had a trifecta. They had the House, the Senate, and the White House, and there was no comprehensive immigration reform.
Yeah. Well, they're not interested. To be clear, I don't think he's looking for immigration reform. He is looking for
Border.
secure the border and the talk of deportation at a mass scale. But that's a very different conversation.
All right, let's go back to the convention floor for Kid Rock, the opening act here this evening.
What up, America? If you're ready for President Trump to take the stage, I need everybody to stand up. I need everybody to put a fist up in the air. Everybody, get a fist up in the air. Now follow me. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say Trump, scream. The devil without a cause. I'm back with the beaver hats and Ben Davis slacks. 30-pack of strolls, straight rock and roll. No Rogaine in the propane flow. The chosen one, I'm the living proof. With the gift to gab from the city of truth. You know I jab, stab, and knock critics back. And I did not start when I said that. I'm going platinum, selling rhymes. I went platinum 7 times. Still they ill and want to see us fry. I guess because only God knows why. Why? They call me cowboy. I'm the singer of black. Throw a fist in the air. Let me see where you at. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. I say Trump, Trump. Like ACDC and ZZ Top. We'll see this beasties and the kings of rock. Skinner, Cedar, Lip, Corn, Stones. David Attenco and No-Show Jones. Yeah, pass that bottle around. Got the rock from Detroit, the soul from Motown. The underground, straight Detroit pimp. With tracks to Mac and slap back to back. Never gain no pay, I don't play with ass. Well, watch me rock with Liberace Flash. Punk rock the Clash, boy bands of trash. I like Johnny Cash and Grandmaster Flash. 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 Oh, they call me cowboy. I'm a singer of the black. Throw a fist in the air. Let me see where you at. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. Say fight, fight. I say Trump, Trump. I'm an American badass. Watch me, kid. You can roll with rock or you can. I'm the ultimate. I'm like Amazing Grace. I'm on rock and roll. Like a rock this place. All super fly. Living double wide. Psychon fly. The big dog you ride. Feel sad to share. Bring it fast to flare. Like a long hair swinging middle finger in the air. Snakeskin boots, 65 Chevelle. See me ride and sin and hit a rebel yell. I won't live to tell. So if you do, rock for freedom and rock for truth. Who knew I'd blow like Oklahoma, Florida, Georgia, Arizona? Smell the aroma and check my hits. I know it stinks in here, cause Trump's the shh. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer of black. Throw a fist in the air, let me see where you're at. Say Trump, Trump. Say Trump, Trump. Say Trump, Trump. Say Trump, Trump. I need to hear you louder than that. One more time. I'm a cowboy, badass and black. You singing Trump, Trump. From side to side, from front to back. Come on, Trump, Trump. I put Detroit City back on the map. We singing Trump, Trump. Kid Rock's in the house. This is where I'm at.
Yeah, MOT, you checking this out?
What the fuck is happening, man? Bro, what? Bro.
But first, another American flag. My brother, Dana White. God bless America.
What is happening? What? Dude, the world is supposed to be watching. There ain't no way he's getting a bump out of this. No, he's not getting a bump out of this.
Kid Rock performing an updated
that was
version
it, Kid.
of a
That was
song
it, Kid
called
Rock.
American Bad. Can I say the word?
No.
I'm just going to leave it there.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Leave it at
I'm really glad I checked. Some updated lyrics there, and also worth noting, Judy Woodruff, as I turned to you for a question about Kid Rock, was that he changed some of the lyrics in there. There's a call and response
Only for
moment in which
Stephanie
he says, "Yeah,
for
yeah."
Stephanie
He changed
McMahon and
that
Triple
to
H to
fight,
come out.
fight, echoing, of course, the words that Donald Trump said when he put his.
Man, I don't want to hear that shit. Dude, at the end of the day, bro, this was supposed to be a speech by him signaling the end of his convention. Why did this turn into like a Trump picnic? How did
man.
it happen? Bro, what is going on?
It's a redneck picnic, man. I mean, this is
What happened?
this is what you got going on, man. This is what these guys are bringing to the table. This is what you got these dudes here, the Sphere and everything else, running behind, getting on their knees to suck their kneecaps. This is what these cats are running behind, man.
Wait, hold up.
This is what they got going on.
Of the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Dana White.
So 2 weeks ago, I got a call from President Trump asking me if I'd be willing to speak tonight. As usual, there was no pressure, no demands. He asked me as a friend, and of course I said yes. Then, after I accepted his offer, he sent me a text message, and I just want to read to you a little piece of what President Trump wrote to me. Dana, I'm so honored that you will be doing the introduction at the National Republican Convention. Think of it as the biggest fight you ever had, a fight for our country and even the world. I only wish you didn't have to interrupt your family trip, but I hope they understand, they love you, and they know how important this is. Now think about this. This man's running for president of the United States. He's fighting for the future of this country, and he's concerned about interrupting my family trip. That's the President Trump that I know. A man who truly cares about people. The mainstream media likes to push the narrative that he doesn't care about anyone but himself. I absolutely know that's not the truth because I've been friends with this guy for 25 years. And for the people who know me, they'll know this is true. I just want to make something very clear. Nobody in the Trump campaign has ever told me what to say. Nobody tells me what to say, and I'm nobody's puppet. And I'm
But
not
you
telling
came up
you
here.
what to think. I'm telling you what I know. And I know President Trump. I know President Trump is a fighter. I've been saying this since 2015. Now look at what's happened over the last 10 years. We have all seen it with our own eyes. I'm in the tough guy business. And this man is the toughest, most resilient human being that I've ever met in my life.
Tough guy business. Is this guy for real?
The higher the stakes, the harder he fights. And this guy never, ever gives up. So what's at stake here? The answer is in President Trump's text. And I quote, "A fight for our country." I know why he's running for president again.
Do you?
Why else would he put himself through everything he's dealt with just to get back here? We all know he doesn't need this. This guy's got a great life. He has a beautiful family, and he has achieved everything that you could possibly achieve in life. I know President Trump is literally putting his life on the line for something bigger than himself, and he's willing to risk it all because he loves this country.
That's real.
And
Yes,
I
sir.
know he wants what's best for the American people, all American people. I know
All
he's
of them.
running for president to save our American dream. I'm living the American dream, and I know the American dream is very real. Whether you were born in this country or came here from someplace else, this is the last real land of opportunity. President Reagan once said, government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. And if you're buried in government red tape, how will you ever start your own business? If you're struggling to pay your bills, how can you ever afford to start a family? And if you don't feel safe in your own town, why would you ever buy a house? I know that President Trump is fighting to save the American dream, and that's what's at stake in this election. We are choosing who we want to lead us in this fight. I know President Trump is a proven leader, a fearless leader, and this country was in a much better place when he was in the Oval Office.
Is that right? With a million,
Yeah, man,
In my mind,
a million
I'm
people
sure.
died.
the
A
choice
million
is
people
clear.
died.
But
Man,
this
I'm sure,
election,
man.
we all get to choose. I know I'm going to choose strength and security. I know I'm going to choose opportunity and prosperity. I know I'm going to choose real American leadership and a real American badass. And I'm not telling you what choice to make. And
You
I'm
are.
not telling you what to think.
Are you
I'm
sure?
telling you what I know. I know America needs a strong leader, and the world needs a strong America. I know Donald J. Trump is the best choice for President of the United States.
I have to tell
My
you,
fellow
I'm going to
Americans,
tell you what to
it
choose.
is my honor to introduce the 45th and soon to be 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Should I edit out all this shit or just?
Like I said, this is their fanfare. So okay, I get it.
Oh no, they're not about to play this song. Oh my God.
Worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, because our flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
I'm proud to be an American. Oh my
Proud to be a fucking sucker. Well, at least I know I'm free. Yeah, the man who died was like a sucker like me.
Oh my God.
Because there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it. God bless the USA.
Just look in that crowd, man. Look in that crowd.
God help the USA.
Look at that crowd, man. Oh boy. Woo!
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.
Not a blue state in sight, right?
Detroit,
I don't see one.
Oh.
New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't.
All right, man. This is look at this. Wow.
No, this is your fault. I blame you.
You blame
I
me?
blame you. Yes, I do.
Come on, man. Don't blame me for this. Don't blame me for this, bro. Oh my God. Oh boy.
Man, end the song, bro.
Next to you can defend herself today, but there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Even Trump telling this dude to get off stage, bro.
You know that scratch just needs a Band-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
But this guy's got an earphone on.
Oh, yeah. Time for some unity, baby. This is what we play for.
Oh, boy.
Time for some unity, Nagone.
It is, man. Let's get some unity up in here, boy.
Fight, fight, fight. Yeah.
Fight, fight, fight. Let's get some unity up in here, boy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.
Just listen to this speech.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. And thank you, Lee, right from the beginning. Thank you very much. What a talent. What a beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you. Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed. We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith
and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we will do it right. Going to do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened. And you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage. These are great people at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual.
Unbelievable.
This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely, but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper, and then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually, most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. And I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just, this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love written all over their faces. Incredible people. They're incredible people. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. Yeah. Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over, but I could see it. I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Thank you. Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before. Never heard anything like it. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey Comparator. Unbelievable person, everybody tells me. Unbelievable. And seriously wounded. Two other great warriors, spoke to them today. David Dutch and James Copenhaver. Two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them and always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
MOT, this is going down. This is going down like
Exactly
you
how I
scripted
said it was.
it. Like you scripted it, bro. Here it is.
Remember,
Here it
he altered his speech
is.
for unity.
Yeah, here we go.
But you never called their family.
It's absolutely predictable. Here it is.
I want to thank the fire department and the family for sending his helmet, his outfit, and it was just something, and they're going to do something very special when they get it. But we did something which cannot match what happened, not even close. But I am very proud to say that over the past few days, we've raised $6.3 million for the families of David, James, and Corey, including from a friend of mine just called up. He sent me a check right here. I just got it. $1 million from Dan Newland. Thank you, Dan. And again, when speaking to the family, I told them, I said, well, I'm going to be sending you a lot of money, but it can't compensate. They all said the same thing. You're right, sir. We appreciate so much what you're doing, but nothing can take the place in the case of Corey and the other two. By the way, they were very, very seriously injured, but now they're doing very well. They're going to be okay. They're going to be doing very well. They're warriors. So now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for others. This is the spirit that forged America in her darkest hours, and this is the love that will lead America back to the summit of human achievement and greatness. This is what we need. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever, and so are you. So is everybody in this room. Thank you very much. Our resolve is unbroken and our purpose is unchanged to deliver a government that serves the American people better than ever before. Nothing will stop me in this mission because our vision is righteous and our cause is pure. No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country. Never. And everything I have to give with all of the energy and fight in my heart and soul, I pledge to our nation tonight. Thank you very much. I pledge that to our nation. We're going to turn our nation around, and we're going to do it very quickly. Thank you. This election should be about the issues facing our country and how to make America successful, safe, free, and great again. In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we must not criminalize dissent or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before. In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy. Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. And very big news, as you probably just read, on Monday, a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court. With all of that publicity, thrown out of court. If Democrats want to unify our country, they should drop these partisan witch hunts, which I have been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway, but worthy of our people. On this journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania. And Melania, thank you very much. You also did something really beautiful, a letter to America calling for national unity, and it really took the Republican Party by surprise. I will tell you, it was beautiful. In fact, some very serious people said that we should take that letter and put it as part of the Republican platform. That would be an honor, wouldn't it? Right, Mr. Congressman? But it captivated so many. So I also want to thank my entire family for being here. Don, Kimberly, Ivanka and Jared, Eric and Lara, Tiffany and Michael, Barron. We love our Barron. And of course, my 10 wonderful grandchildren. You saw a few of them up there on my lap before. And how good was Dana? Was Dana good? I mean, was he good? He was on probably the only vacation he's had in about maybe ever, because he works, but about 10 years with his wife, very far away. I won't tell you where, but very, very far away, beautiful place. And my people called and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it because he was my first, second, and third choice. I said, well, that's too bad, but I understand he's away and it's good. It's good for him. And that was it. About 30 minutes later, she came back in, sir, Dana just called. He's going to do it. And his wife, she said, you can't turn him down. You just can't do it. You have to go. That's a good wife. So he got on a plane. He got here a little while ago. Now he's going to get on the plane in a little while and he's going to go back home to his wife. But they're great. And I just want to thank her and him and their whole family because that's not easy. And Kid Rock, same thing. Called, he said, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part because, Kid does his great song, Big, Big Monster song. I had no idea. He became a friend of mine over the last 10 years. And he's amazing. Everyone loves him. I didn't even know how big he was. He has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out. I think he's making so much money, he doesn't know what the hell to do with it. You want to know? And then we have my other friend, and I've known him so long, and we took that song, and it was a big success, but we made that. I saw a chart of great songs to America. That was #1 on the chart recently, #1. So that's Lee Greenwood, a very special, beautiful person. He's a beautiful man. But they all wanted to be here. They called. And how about the Hulkster? How good was he? Is he up? Where is he? Boy, oh boy. They may call that entertainment. I know about entertainment, but when he used to lift a 350-pound man over his shoulders and then bench press him 2 rows into the audience, I say maybe entertainment, but he is one strong son of a gun. I will tell you, I watched it many times. There aren't a lot of entertainers that can do that, right? You were fantastic. Thank you very much. Followed by Eric. What was that all about? Boy, that was good. I didn't want to really come up here. But he was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. They went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom. They've got to stop that because they're destroying our country. We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them and all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country. And Jason, the biggest star in country music. Jason, thank you for being here. Jason, thank you very much. Jason Aldean, he's good. I like his wife even better, by the way. She's here. Thank you, Jason. But I'm thrilled to have a new friend and partner fighting by my side. The next Vice President of the United States, the current Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, and his incredible wife, Usha. He's going to be a great vice president. He's going to be great. He'll be with this country and with this movement, greatest movement in the history of our country. Make America great again. When they criticize it, they say, we're going to try and stop MAGA. I said, MAGA is Make America Great Again. What are you going to stop? There's nothing to stop. Then they say, oh, that's right. It's very tough to fight it. And all of the people that did try and fight it have failed. But he's going to be with us for a long time. And it was an honor to select him. Great, great student at Yale. His wife was a great student at Yale. They met at Yale. These are two smart people. So, JD, you're going to be doing this for a long time. Enjoy the ride. And a very special thank you to the extraordinary people of Milwaukee and the great state of... Oh, there they are. There they are. You are so easy to spot. And Green Bay's going to have a good team this year, right? They're going to have a good team. They're going to have a good team. Most of the audience doesn't like it, but it's true. You're going to have a very good team this year. And by the way, Wisconsin, we are spending over $250 million here, creating jobs and other economic development all over the place. So I hope you will remember this in November and give us your vote. I am trying to buy your vote. I'll be honest about that.
What?
And I promise we will make Wisconsin great again. We're going to make it.
MOT, man. What
Mr. Governor, thank you very much.
What is he talking?
I'm here tonight to lay out a vision for the whole nation. To every citizen, whether you're a young or old man or woman, Democrat, Republican, or independent, black or white, Asian or Hispanic, I extend to you a hand of loyalty and of friendship. Together, we will lead America to new heights of greatness like the world has never seen before. We were right there in the first term. We got hit with COVID. We did a great job. Nobody knew what it was, but nobody's ever seen an economy pre-COVID. And then we handed over a stock market that was substantially higher than just prior to COVID.
What?
Coming in, did a great job. Never got credit for that. We got credit for
COVID,
the war and defeating ISIS and so many things. The great economy, the biggest tax cuts ever, the biggest regulation cuts ever, the creation of Space Force, the rebuilding of our military. We did so much. We did so much. Right to try. Right to try is a big deal. We got right to try. They were trying to get that for 52 years. Somebody's terminally ill, and hopefully there's nobody in this audience, but it does happen a lot. They're terminally ill and they can't use our new space age drugs and other things that we are way ahead. We're the greatest doctors in the world.
This guy was
laboratories in the world, and you can't do it. They've been trying to get that
trying to
approved
cut
for
healthcare.
52 years. Wasn't
What?
that easy?
Wait a minute.
The insurance
What is
companies
right to
didn't want
try?
to do it. They didn't want the risk. The labs didn't want to do it because if it didn't work, people are pretty far down the line toward death. They didn't want to do it. The doctors didn't want to have it on their records. So I got everybody into an office. 52 years they tried. Sounds simple, but it's not.
Factcheck.org
And I got them to agree that somebody that needs it will, instead of going to Asia or Europe or someplace, or if you have no money going home and dying, just die. We got them to sign an agreement, agree to it, where they're not going to sue anybody. They're going to get all of this stuff. They're going to get it really fast. And what's happened is we're saving thousands and thousands of lives. It's incredible. Right to try. It's great feeling.
MOT, we got to
Under our
figure
leadership,
out what
the
is
United States will be respected again.
Man, I don't know.
No nation will question our power. No enemy will doubt our might. Our borders will be totally secure. Our economy will soar. We will return law and order to our streets, patriotism to our schools, and importantly, we will restore peace, stability, and harmony all throughout the world. But to achieve this future, we must first rescue our nation from failed and even incompetent leadership. We have totally incompetent leadership. This will be the most important election in the history of our country. Under the current administration, we are indeed a nation in decline. We have an inflation crisis that is making life unaffordable, ravaging the incomes of working and low-income families, and crushing, just simply crushing our people like never before. They've never seen anything like it. We also have an illegal immigration crisis, and it's taking place right now as we sit here in this beautiful arena. It's a massive invasion at our southern border.
And they're
that is
telling Biden to drop
misery,
out?
crime, poverty, disease, and destruction to communities all across our land. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Then there's an international crisis, the likes of which the world has seldom been part of. Nobody can believe what's happening. War is now raging in Europe and the Middle East. A growing specter of conflict hangs over Taiwan, Korea, the Philippines, and all of Asia. And our planet is teetering on the edge of World War III. And this will be a war like no other war because of weaponry. The weapons are no longer army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. These weapons are obliteration. It's time for a change. This administration can't come close to solving the problems. We're dealing with very tough, very fierce people. They're fierce people. And we don't have fierce people. We have people that are a lot less than fierce, except when it comes to cheating on elections and a couple of other things. Then they're fierce. Then they're fierce. So tonight, I make this pledge to the great people of America. I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
What?
Man, stop this.
What? What? He has no plan. It had to do any. He has no plan. I want to hear his plan. How does he plan to do it? What is his plan? Let's hear this.
Can you believe what they're doing? But by doing that, we will lead a large-scale decline in prices. Prices will start to come down. Energy raised it. They took our energy policies and destroyed them. Then they immediately went back to them, but by that time, so much was lost. But we will do it at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And we'll end lots of different things. We'll start paying off debt and start lowering taxes even further. We gave you the largest tax cut. We'll do it more. You know, people don't realize I brought taxes way down, way down, and yet we took in more revenues the following year than we did when the tax rate was much higher.
Here we
Most
go,
people said,
man.
"How did
What are
do
you
that?"
talking
Because
about?
It was incentive. Everybody was coming to the country. They were bringing back billions and billions of dollars into our country. The companies made it impossible to bring it back. The tax rate was too high, and the legal complications were far too great. I changed both of them, and hundreds of billions of dollars by Apple and so many other companies were brought back into our nation, and we had an economy the likes of which no nation had ever seen. China, we were beating them at levels that were, and they know it. They know it. We'll do it again, but we'll do it even better. I will end the illegal immigration crisis by closing our border and finishing the wall, most of which I've already built. On the wall, we were dealing with a very difficult Congress. And I said, oh, that's okay. We won't go to Congress. I call it an invasion. We gave our military almost $800 billion. I said, I'm going to take a little of that money because this is an invasion. And we built, most of the wall is already built. And we built it through using the funds because what's better than that? We have to stop the invasion into our country that's killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. We're not going to let that happen. I will end every single international crisis that the current administration has created, including the horrible war with Russia and Ukraine, which would have never happened if I was president, and the war caused by the attack on Israel, which would have never happened if I was president. Iran was broke. Iran had no money. Now Iran has $250 billion. They made it all over the last 2.5 years. They were broke. I watched the other day on a show called Deface the Nation. Has anyone seen it? And they had a congressman who was a Democrat say, well, whether you like him or not, Iran was broke dealing with Trump. I told China and other countries, if you buy from Iran, we will not let you do any business in this country, and we will put tariffs on every product you do send in of 100% or more. And they said to me, well, I think that's about it. They weren't going to buy any oil. And they were ready to make a deal. Iran was going to make a deal with us. And then we had that horrible, horrible result that we'll never let happen again. The election result, we're never going to let that happen again. They used COVID to cheat. We're never going to let it happen again. And they took off all the sanctions and they did everything possible for Iran. And now Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon, which would have never happened. This is a shame what this administration, the damage that this administration has done. And I say it often, if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States, think of it, the 10 worst, added them up, they will not have done the damage that Biden has done. Only going to use the term once. Biden, I'm not going to use the name anymore, just one time. The damage that he's done to this country is unthinkable. It's unthinkable. Together we will restore vision, strength, competence, and we're going to have a thing called common sense making most of our decisions, actually. It's all common sense. Just a few short years ago, under my presidency, we had the most secure border and best economy in the history of our country, in the history of the world. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had never done anything like it. We were beating every country, including China, by leaps and bounds. Nobody had seen anything like it. We had no inflation, soaring incomes were going. Nobody can believe it. You can't believe what happened 4 years ago is happening now in reverse. And the world was at peace. Inflation has been a killer for our country. No matter what you make it, it doesn't matter because inflation is eating you alive. People that were putting away money, they were making great wages, the highest they've ever made, but they were putting away a lot of money. Now they are just being destroyed. They're not putting away anything. They're barely living. They're going into savings accounts. They're taking out their money to live because of inflation. Inflation, remember, it's called a country buster. You can go back to Germany from 100 years ago. You can go back to any country that suffered great inflation. We've suffered the worst inflation we've ever had. But go back and see what's happened to those countries. We've had the worst inflation we've ever had under this person. But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been a tremendous failure. Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. By the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population.
Can you believe this?
They're also
Hispanics
taking them
are
from
taking
unions.
jobs from Hispanic
Unions
population
suffering
and union
because-
jobs.
Can
What?
you believe this?
What?
Yo, man, if I'm
I like
telling
you
you, if these
too.
guys,
107%
Thank you
though.
very much.
if they can't, oh my gosh,
Inflation has wiped out the life savings
they
of our
can't go in
citizens
on
and
this
forced the
guy
middle
and
class
pay
into
him
a
out,
state of
I
depression
don't.
and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. We're going to be a great nation again. Thank you. With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you've supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future, because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're going to do. You don't even hear
What?
about the American dream.
How?
With great humility, I am asking
What
you
is-
to be excited
Talking
about
points
the future
memo.
of our country. Be excited.
Talking
Be
points
excited.
money.
And by the way, the news reports, oh, look at all of those big networks. Look at them. They're all here. But every one of them has said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention of either party that they've ever seen. Every single one. And it's true. It's true. And there's love in the room. There's great love in the room. So I better finish strong. Otherwise, we'll blow it. And we can't let that happen. Now, this was great. All of the great people that spoke, and everybody hit a home run. I mean, there's not one that I can think of where I said, oh, gee, that wasn't great. Every single person. I refuse to be the only one. Don't do that to me. They're already getting ready. See, I gave them an idea. Now, this was a great convention. This was, I think we're actually going to go home and miss it. You know, usually with a first of all, look at these crowds. You'd never have this at a convention. Look at these crowds. Love, it's about love. This week, the entire Republican Party has formally adopted an agenda for America's renewal, and you saw that agenda, and it's very short compared to the long, boring, meaningless agendas of the past, including the Democrats. They write these things that are hundreds of pages long, and they never read them after they're done. In their case, fortunately, they don't read them because they're pretty bad. It's a series of bold promises that we will swiftly implement when you give us a Republican House. And Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. We have our great Speaker of the House with us tonight. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Thank you. A Republican Senate, we have many senators here. And send me back to our beautiful White House just a few short months from now. We're talking about just months. It can't come fast enough. We have to get it done. First, we must get economic relief to our citizens. Starting on day one, we will drive down prices and make America affordable again. We have to make it affordable. It's not affordable. People can't live like this. Under this administration, our current administration, groceries are up 57%, gasoline is up 60 and 70%, mortgage rates have quadrupled. And the fact is, it doesn't matter what they are. because you
Lying
can't
like
get
a
the money
Persian
anyway.
rug,
What
man.
is
Can't
going
buy
None of
a house.
that is
Young
true.
people can't get any financing to buy a house. The total household costs have increased an average of $28,000 per family under this administration. Republicans have a plan to bring down prices and bring them down very, very rapidly. By slashing energy costs, we will in turn reduce the cost of transportation, manufacturing, and all household goods. So much starts with energy. And remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country by far. We are a nation that has the opportunity to make an absolute fortune with its energy. We have it, and China doesn't. Under the Trump administration, just 3.5 years ago, we were energy independent, but soon we will actually be better than that. We will be energy dominant and supply not only ourselves, but we will supply the rest of the world with numbers that nobody has ever seen, and we will reduce our debt. $36 trillion. We will start reducing that, and we will also reduce your taxes still further. Next, and by the way, they want to raise your taxes 4 times. Think of it. And all my life, I grew up watching politicians. I always loved politics. I guess I was on the other side. I'd watch and they were always talking about, we will give you a tax cut. We will give you a tax cut. My whole life, I was watching, I will give you a tax cut, right, Mr. Congressman? That's all they talked about. This is the only administration that said, we're going to raise your taxes by 4 times what you're paying now, and people are supposed to vote for them? I've never heard it. You're paying too much. We're going to reduce your taxes still further. We gave you the biggest one, as I said. We're going to give you more, and it's going to lead to tremendous growth. We want growth in our country. That's what's going to pay off our debt. And next, we will end the ridiculous and actually incredible waste of taxpayer dollars that is fueling the inflation crisis. They spent trillions of dollars on things having to do with the Green New Scam. It's a scam. And that's caused tremendous inflationary pressures in addition to the cost of energy.
Inflation started
and all of
when
the
this
trillions of dollars
in
that
Trump's
are sitting
administration.
there not yet
Man,
spent.
the Green New
we
Deal hasn't
will
even been passed.
redirect that money for important projects like
They had-
roads,
they
bridges,
had to pass-
dams, and
we had
we
to
will
pass
not
a bill.
allow it to be spent on
And the Biden
meaningless
administration deal with
green
this.
new scam ideas. And I will end the electric vehicle mandate on day 1. Thereby saving the U.S. auto industry from complete obliteration, which is happening right now, and saving U.S. customers thousands and thousands of dollars per car.
That's because of the current president, not
And right
you.
now, as we speak, large factories just started
It's
are
ridiculous.
being built across the border in Mexico. So with all the other things happening on our border, and they're being built by China to make cars and to sell them into our country, no tax, no anything. The United Auto Workers ought to be ashamed for allowing this to happen. And the leader of the United Auto Workers should be fired immediately. And every single
And
auto
replaced
worker,
with what?
union and non-union, should be voting for Donald Trump, because we're going to bring back car manufacturing and we're going to bring it back fast.
They left the country to make more money. Why would they pay more money by bringing
They're
it back?
building some of the largest auto
He
plants
has
anywhere in the
absolutely
world.
no
Think
plan
of
of
it.
what to do this.
In the world. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make them. We don't mind that happening, but those plants are going to be built in the United States, and our people are going to man those plants. And if they don't agree with us, we'll put a tariff of approximately 100 to 200% on each car, and they will be unsellable in the United States.
You mean
We
American
have
cars?
long been taken advantage of by other countries. And think of it, oftentimes these other countries are considered so-called allies. They've taken advantage of us for years. We lose jobs, we lose revenue, and they gain everything and wipe out our businesses, wipe out our people. I stopped it for 4 years. I stopped it. And we're really ready to make changes like nobody had seen before. And remember, USMCA, I got rid of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with USMCA, which is, they say, the best trade deal ever made. Actually, probably the best trade deal was the deal I made with China, where they buy $50 billion worth of our product. They were buying nothing. They buy $50 billion worth. They had to. But I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even mention it, frankly, because of what happened with the China virus.
Do you guys see all the ammunition he's going to give the damn thing? This is crazy.
We will not let
Just let him keep
countries
talking.
come
Let him
in,
keep talking.
take our jobs, and plunder our nation. They come and do that. They plunder our nation. The way they will sell their product in America is to build it in America. Very simple. Build it in America and only in America. And this very simple formula, and Congress has to go along with us, and they will. This very simple formula will create massive numbers of jobs. We will take over the auto industry again, and many hundreds of thousands of jobs. We lost so many jobs over the years. If you go back 20, 25 years, they've stolen, going to China and Mexico, about 68% of our auto industry manufacturing jobs. We're going to get them all back. We're going to get them all back, every one of them. At the center of our plan for economic relief are massive tax cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. Here it's very popular in this building and all those hotels that I saw that are so nice. I'm staying in a nice one. It's called no tax on tips. No tax on tips. No tax on tips. I got that by having dinner recently in Nevada, where we're leading by about 14 points. Hello. I'll see you there very soon, everybody. And we're having dinner at a beautiful restaurant in the Trump building on the Strip, and it's a great building, and the waitress comes over. How's everything going? A really nice person. How's everything? Oh, sir, it's so tough. The government's after me all the time on tips, tips, tips. I said, well, they give you cash. Would they be able to find him? She said, actually, and I didn't know this. She said, very little cash is given. It's all put right on the check. And they come in and they take so much of our money. It's just ridiculous. And they don't believe anything we say. And they've just hired, as you know, 88,000 agents to go after them even more. And I said, this shows the level of my, most people go out, they hire consultants, they pay millions of dollars. But I said to her, let me just ask you a question. Would you be happy if you had no tax on tips? She said, what a great idea. I got my information from a very smart waitress. That's better than spending millions of dollars. And everybody loves it. Waitresses and caddies and drivers and everybody's a large group of people that are being really hurt badly. They make money, let them keep their money. I'm going to protect Social Security and Medicare. Democrats are going to destroy Social Security and Medicare because all of these people, by the millions they're coming in, they're going to be on Social Security and Medicare and other things, and you're not able to afford it. They are destroying your Social Security and your Medicare. Under my plan, incomes will skyrocket, inflation will vanish completely, jobs will come roaring back, and the middle class will prosper like never, ever before, and we're going to do it very rapidly.
Come on, Trump, man. Go to bed, nigga. Stop.
But no hope or dream we have for America can succeed unless we stop the illegal immigrant invasion, the worst that's ever been seen anywhere in the world. There's never been an invasion like this anywhere. Third world countries would fight with sticks and stones not to let this happen. The invasion at our southern border, we will stop it, and we will stop it quickly. You heard Tom Homan yesterday. Tom Homan, put him in charge and just sit back and watch. Brandon Judd, the Border Patrol, he's incredible. These guys, they really, their job is a lot easier if they don't have to do anything, but they want to. They're patriots. Brandon Judd, Border Patrol, ICE. ICE goes out. You have to see what ICE does with MS-13. You have these are probably the worst gang, and ICE goes in there. And I know a lot of people in these rows here, and they're very tough people, but they don't want to do this job. They'll go into a pack of MS-13 killers. They're the worst, probably the worst gangs in the world. We have thousands of them. I moved thousands and thousands out in my 4 years. We moved them out, and it was a pleasure. But ICE would go right into a pack of these killers, and you see fists flying, you see everything flying, and then they take them. They put them in a paddy wagon. They take them back, and they get them out of our country. And the other countries weren't accepting them back, and I called up, and I said, tell them that we're not giving them economic aid anymore. And the next day, I got calls from all of these countries that were terminated.
Hey man, land the plane,
Billions of
bro.
dollars we spend on economic aid to countries that does us, frankly, no good. And the next day I was called by everybody. I couldn't take all the calls. Sir, what's the problem? I said, you won't take your killers back that you sent in caravans into America. You won't take them back. Well, sir, if you'd like us to, we would give very serious consideration to doing that. And within 24 hours, they were being taken back. For years and years, when I first came in, they said President Obama tried to get him to go back, and they wouldn't accept him. They'd put planes on the runway so you couldn't leave the plane. They'd close the road so you couldn't take the buses. They'd all have to turn back. As soon as I said no more economic aid of any kind to any country that does that, they called back and they said, sir, it would be our great honor to take MS-13. We love them very much. We love them very much, sir. We'll take them back. At the heart of the Republican platform is our pledge to end this border nightmare and fully restore the sacred and sovereign borders of the United States of America. And we're going to do that on day one. That means two things on day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders. And by the way, and I think everybody as a Republican, as a patriot in this room, most Democrats, we want people to come into our country, but they have to come into our country legally. Legally.
Yeah, they come in legally and then they don't live illegally. Other countries,
Less
they
than
come
4
looking for your
years
ass.
ago, I handed this administration the strongest border in American history. But you can see on the chart that saved my life. That was the chart that saved my life. I said, look it, I'm so proud of it. I think it's one of the greatest. It was done by the Border Patrol. One of the greatest charts I've ever seen. It showed everything just like that. You know the chart. Oh, there it is. That's pretty good. Wow. Last time I put up that chart, I never really got to look at it. But without that chart, I would not be here today.
You're right, dude.
Never got to look at it. I said, you got to see this chart. I was so proud of it. And by the time I got to there, I never got to see it that day. But I'm seeing it now, and I was very proud. If you look at the arrow in the bottom, that's the lowest level, the one on the bottom, heavy red arrow. That's the lowest level of illegal immigrants ever to come into our country in recorded history, right there. Right there. And that was my last week in office. And then you see what happened after I left. Look at the rest. And if you go out a little bit further, it's getting to be a little bit old, but I love it anyway, right? But you can go much higher with those numbers. Look what happened right after that. The invasion began. We had the opposite. We stopped the invasion, but the invasion that we stopped was peanuts by comparison to what happened after I left. Look at what happened after I left. They took over our country. We ended all catch and release. We shut down asylum fraud. We stopped human trafficking and forged historic agreements to keep illegal aliens on foreign soil. We want them to stay on their soil. Under the Trump administration, if you came in illegally, you were apprehended immediately and you were deported. You went right back. The current administration terminated every single one of those great Trump policies that I put in place to seal the border. I wanted a sealed border. Again, come in, but come in legally. You know how unfair it is? So many people, hundreds of thousands of people, have been working for years to come into our country. And now they see these people pour into our country at levels that are unprecedented. It's so unfair. And we're not going to do it. We're not going to stand for it. They suspended wall construction, ended remain in Mexico. We had a policy, remain in Mexico. You think that was easy to get from the Mexican government? But I said, you must give it to us. If you don't give it to us, there will be repercussions. And they gave it to us, but not easy. Canceled our Safe Third agreements. Demolished Title 42, implemented nationwide catch and release. That's catch and release where we catch them and release them into our country. We catch them and release them into Mexico. There's a slight difference. And took 93, this is the previous administration, 93 executive actions to throw open our border to the world. The entire world is pouring into our country because of this very foolish administration. The greatest invasion in history is taking place right here in our country. They are coming in from every corner of the earth, not just from South America, but from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. They're coming at levels that we've never seen before. It is an invasion indeed, and this administration does absolutely nothing to stop them. They're coming from prisons. They're coming from jails. They're coming from mental institutions and insane asylums. The press is always on me because I say this. Has anyone seen Silence of the Lambs?
Oh man, we back to the Silence of the
late,
Lambs
great
again, bro.
Hannibal Lecter. He'd love to have you for dinner.
MOT, man, in all seriousness, man.
That's insane asylums. They're emptying out their insane asylums.
What?
And terrorists are coming in at numbers that we've never seen before.
think
Bad things are going to happen. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up while
I'm not gonna stop this
statistics
shit, man.
all over the world are going
Gotta hear
down
this shit.
because they're taking their criminals and they're putting them into our country, a certain country, and I happen to like the president of that country.
Remember when somebody said earlier that somebody should go to
you
you want to vote for the guy
shepherd of the country. He says how well
who
the
wants to go to
country's
bed at
doing
9 p.m.
because their crime rate is down.
Yeah.
And he said he's training all of these rough people. They're rough. He's training them. And I've been reading about this for 2 years. I think, oh, that's wonderful. Let's take a look at it. But then I realized he's not training them. He's sending all of his criminals, his drug dealers, his people that are in jails. He's sending them all to the United States. And he's different in that he doesn't say that. He's trying to convince everybody what a wonderful job he does in running the country. Well, he doesn't do a wonderful job. And by the way, if I ran one of the countries, many countries from all over, I would be worse than any of them. I would have had the place totally emptied out already.
He would be worse than any of them. Okay.
What is this guy talking about?
But we become a dumping ground for the rest of the world, which is laughing at us. They think we're stupid. And they can't believe that they're getting away with what they're getting away with, but they're not going to be getting away with it for long. That's what I can tell you.
Wrap it up,
In
Joe.
Venezuela, Caracas, high crime. Caracas, Venezuela, really a dangerous place, but not anymore. Because in Venezuela, crime is down 72%. In fact, if they would ever win this election, I hate to even say that, we will have our next Republican convention in Venezuela because it will be safe. Our cities will be so unsafe, we won't be able. We will not be able to have it there. In El Salvador, murders are down by 70%. Why are they down? Now, he would have you convinced that because he's trained murderers to be wonderful people. No.
No, they're gone.
They're down because they're sending their murderers to the United States of America. This is going to be very bad. And bad things are going to happen, and you're seeing it happen all the time. That's why, to keep our families safe, the Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country. Even larger than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower from many years ago. You know, he was a moderate, but he believed very strongly in the borders. He had the largest deportation operation we've ever had.
Dwight.
Just recently, I spoke to the grieving mother of Jocelyn Nungary, a wonderful woman, a precious 12-year-old girl from Houston who last month was tied up, assaulted, and strangled to death after walking to the convenience store just a block away from her house. Her body was dumped near the side of the road in a shallow creek, found by some onlookers who couldn't believe what they
MOT,
witnessed.
man, what's going on here, man?
Charged with Jocelyn's heinous murder are two illegal aliens from Venezuela.
Nah, man. You want to
who
do? You
came
want to
across
stay
our
up after
border,
9
were in
o'clock? This is what
custody
you
and were
get,
then
man.
released
This is what you get.
into the country by this horrible, horrible administration that we have
What
right
the
now.
fuck?
I also met recently with the heartbroken mother and sister of
Oofa.
Rachel Morin.
Unbelievable.
Rachel was a 37-year-old mom of 5 beautiful children who was brutally raped and murdered while out on a run. She wanted to keep herself in good shape. It was very important to her. She was murdered. The monster responsible first killed another woman in El Salvador before he was led into America by the White House. This White House let them in. He then attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in a home invasion in Los Angeles before murdering Rachel in Maryland. Traveled all throughout the country, doing tremendous damage. Rachel's mother will never be the same. I spent time with her. She will never be the same. I've also met with the wonderful family of Laken Riley, the brilliant 22-year-old nursing student. She was so proud of being first in her class, who was out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia when she was assaulted, beaten, and horrifically killed. Yet another American life was stolen by a criminal alien set free by this administration. And these were incredible people we're talking about. These were incredible people who died. Tonight, America, this is my vow. I will not let these killers and criminals into our country. I will keep our sons
Bro.
and daughters safe
They're gone.
as we bring security
A
to our
Trump hat
streets.
and a
We will help
cheese head
bring
on a Trump hat.
stability to the world.
Cheesehead.
I
on
was
the
the first president in modern times to
Who cut the
start
cheese?
no new wars. You know, we were the
Yeah,
toughest.
okay,
We were
man.
the most respected. And
Trump
you
had
saw
a
this
cheesehead.
hungry,
Trump had a
strong country run by very powerful, tough leaders. Tough guy. Press doesn't like him because he's tough. And he came out recently. They were asking him at an interview, the whole world is exploding. What's happening? What's going on? Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man. He said, I don't want people coming into my country and blowing up our shopping centers and killing people. But they said to him, tell us what's going wrong, what's happening, what is it? He said, there's only one way you're going to solve it. You got to bring President Trump back to the United States because he kept everybody at bay. True. He used a word I wouldn't use because I can't use that word, because you'd say it was braggadocious. The press would say he was a braggart. I'm not a braggart. But Viktor Orban said it. He said Russia was afraid of him. China was afraid of him. Everybody was afraid of him.
Hey, do you remember
Nothing
Midnight at
was
the
going
Apollo?
to
They had the
happen.
guy come
The
out.
Yeah.
whole
Oh, yeah.
world was at
It would
peace.
pull you
And
off
now
with
the
the
world
Man,
is
Sam, man,
blowing
Sam.
up around us. All of these things that you read about were not going to happen. Under President Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under President Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under the current
Oh,
administration,
come on, dude.
Russia is after all of Ukraine. Under President Trump, Russia took nothing.
Trump praising an
We
autocrat.
defeated
going on.
100% of ISIS in Syria and Iraq, something that was said to take 5 years, sir. It'll take 5 years, sir. We did it in a matter of a couple of months. We have a great military. Our military is not woke. It's just some of the fools on top that are woke. I got along very well. North Korea, Kim Jong-un, I got along very well with him. The press hated when I said that. How could you get along with him? Well, you know, it's nice to get along with somebody who has a lot of nuclear weapons or otherwise, isn't it? See, in the old days, they'd say, that's a wonderful thing. Now they say, how could you possibly do that? But no, I got along with them, and we stopped the missile launches from North Korea. Now North Korea is acting up again, but when we get back, I get along with him. He'd like to see me back, too. I think he misses me, if you want to know the truth. Our opponents inherited a world at peace and turned it into a planet of war. We're in a planet of war. Look at that attack on Israel. Look at what's happening with Ukraine. The cities are just bombed out. How can people live like that? Where buildings, massive buildings, are falling to the ground. It began to unravel with the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the worst humiliation in the history of our country. We have never had a humiliation like that. 13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. 45 others were horrifically wounded. Nobody ever talks about that. No arms, no legs, face explosions, horrifically wounded. And by the way, we have a man in this room who's running for the U.S. Senate from a great state, Nevada, named Sam Brown, who paid the ultimate price. Thank you, Sam. Thank you,
What?
Sam.
What?
Thank you. He paid the biggest price probably ever paid by anybody that is running for office, and I think he's going to do great. He's running against a person that is not good, not respected, a total lightweight. But Sam, I think, paid really, we were talking about it with some of the senators that are working so hard for Sam, but he paid the biggest price of any senator ever to run for the Senate. I don't think anybody's ever what he did. He was a real hero, a really great person, and he's running, and I hope that everybody gets out and votes for Sam Brown. And we also left behind $85 billion worth of military equipment, along with many American citizens were left behind. Many American citizens, emboldened by that disaster, Russia invaded Ukraine. They saw this group of people that were incompetent. We took the soldiers out first. No, we're going to take the soldiers out second. If they would have followed my plan, we had a great plan. But the plan only kicked in if they did everything perfectly, and they weren't doing things perfectly, so we said it doesn't kick in. You know, 18 months in Afghanistan, we didn't have one, so they were killing them left and right, snipers. And I spoke to the head of the Taliban. You've heard this story. Abdul, still there, still the head of the Taliban. The press got on me. Why would you speak to him? I said, because that's where the killing is. I don't have to speak to somebody that has nothing to do with it. And I told him, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. You got to stop. Because during the Obama administration, many great people and soldiers, but a lot of soldiers were being killed from long distance. I said, if you keep doing that, you're going to be hit harder than anybody's ever been hit by a country before. And he said, I understand, Your Excellency. He called me Your Excellency. I wonder if he calls the other guy Your Excellency. I doubt it. The other guy gave him everything. I mean, what kind of a deal was that? He walked out, gave him everything. Do you know that right now Afghanistan is one of the largest sellers of weapons in the world? They're selling the brand new, beautiful weapons that we gave them. But think of it. He actually said to me, but why do you show me a picture of my home? I said, you'll have to ask your people or one of your wives. But he could figure it out. And for 18 months, we had not one attack on an American soldier by the Taliban. 18 months.
What about the other months? Come on, man. Your presidential term ain't 18 months,
had
bro.
That horrible day where soldiers were killed. I was not there
Boy.
because of a
Oh,
ridiculous
gosh.
election. But we had that horrible attack. And they also gave up Bagram, one of the biggest bases anywhere in the world, air bases anywhere in the world, the longest runways, most powerful, hardened, thickened runways. We gave it up. And I liked it not because of Afghanistan. I liked it because of China. It's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. And you know who has it now? China has it now. We were keeping that.
No
And now China
domestic
is
policy.
likewise
He's over here.
circling Taiwan, and Russian
Zero domestic
warships
policy.
and
He's
nuclear
talking this
submarines are
garbage about
operating
China.
60 miles off the coast.
What is
Cuba.
going
You know
on here,
that?
man?
No, the press refuses to write about it. If that were me running this country and we had nuclear submarines in Cuba, I will tell you that the headlines every day would be, what's wrong with our president? You don't even hear this. You're not hearing about this. Russia has nuclear submarines and warships 60 miles away, Mr. Congressman, from Miami, by the way, happens to be here. Correct?
Dude, are
In
you talking
Cuba.
about classified information?
And that would not be straightforward if it were somebody else. They don't even they don't want to mention it, but now maybe they will. And the entire world, I tell you this, we want our hostages back, and they better be back before I assume office, or you will be paying a very big price.
Want a hostages back?
Please
Look at
end this. Please
With
end
our
it.
victory
Look
in
at these-
November, the
Okay.
Look at these
years of
promises.
war, weakness, and chaos will be over. I don't have wars. I had no wars other than ISIS, which I defeated, but that was a war that was started. We had no wars. I could stop wars with a telephone call. I could stop wars with just a telephone call. If properly stated, it would never start. We will replenish our military and build an Iron Dome missile defense system to ensure that no enemy can strike our homeland.
Yeah,
And this great Iron Dome will be built entirely in the USA. We're going to build it in the USA. And
Yeah.
Wisconsin,
I actually want to build another Iron Dome.
Wisconsin, just like I gave you that massive chip contract, and you're doing a very nice job, Governor, right? Thank you, Governor. And they're doing a great job. In fact, I had a little design change, and we gave them a tremendous for essentially what we used to call destroyers. These are now the most beautiful. They look like yachts. I said, we have to take the bow and we have to make it a little nicer and a little point at the top instead of a flat nose. And the people at the shipyard said, this guy sort of knows what he's doing. We have the most beautiful ships, right, Governor? And everybody's sitting over there. And it was a big contract that everybody wanted. I gave it to Wisconsin, but we're
Another
going to
black
have
woman.
a lot of that built right here in
That Molly
the
girl.
state of Wisconsin.
Number 7.
All other states.
Seen
Israel
another
has
black
an Iron
person.
Dome. They have a missile defense system.
Another one.
342 missiles were shot into Israel, and only one got through a little bit. It was badly wounded. It fell to the ground, but most of them are.
A
and
missile
Ronald
was
Reagan
badly
wanted this many
wounded.
years ago, but we really didn't have the
Miss-
technology.
I mean, you guys got it. I mean, this is
Starship, spaceship.
this is incredible, man. This is
Anything to mock
this
him.
is great stuff, I guess.
Very good president. Very, very good.
Woo! Oh boy.
But now we have unbelievable technology. And why should other countries have this and we don't? No, we're going to build an Iron Dome over our country, and we're going to be sure that nothing can come and harm our people.
Yeah,
And
man.
again,
Just
from an
relocate all
economic
these people to
development
Mississippi and
standpoint,
build that
we'll
Iron
make it
Dome.
all right here. No more sending it out to
okay.
other countries in order to help. It's America first. America first.
Oh boy.
We will unleash the power of American innovation. And as we do,
Everybody
we will
knows what
soon
the
be
fuck
on
is
the
happening
verge
now,
of
man.
finding the cures to cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and many other
Whoa,
diseases.
whoa.
We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Wow,
You
what?
remember this gentleman that I don't want to mention other than one time I had to, because
incredible.
when you say the 10 worst, I had to do it.
Incredible,
I didn't
man.
want anybody to be confused. But this man said, we're going to find a cure to cancer. Nothing happened. We're going to get to the cure for cancer and Alzheimer's and so many other things. We're so close to doing something great. But we need a leader that will let it be done. We will not have men playing in women's sports. That will end immediately.
Oh.
Oh, that's number 8. Number 8.
Number 8 shine.
And we will restore and renovate our nation's once great cities, making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. And that includes our nation's capital, which is a horrible killing field. So many things. They leave
Yeah.
from Wisconsin.
I
they
wonder
go
what
to look
happened
at
on
the Washington
January
Monument,
6th,
They
Nicole.
end up getting stabbed,
Wonder
killed,
what
or
happened.
shot. We will be very soon
I
very
don't
proud of our
know.
capital. Again, Washington, D.C.
I don't know.
America is on the cusp of a new golden age, but we will have the courage to seize it. We're going to take it. We're going to make it a current. I mean, we're going to bring this into a golden age like never seen before. Remember this, China wants to do it, Japan wants to do it,
start turning the
all
lights
these
off in
countries
parts of
want
the
to do
crowd,
it.
man.
We have to produce massive amounts of energy.
Indeed.
If we're going to produce the new, if you look at some of the things that have been done and some of the things that we're going to do, but AI needs literally twice the electricity that's available now in our country. Can you imagine?
What?
But instead, we're spending
What?
places where they recharge electric cars. They built 8 chargers at a certain location toward the Midwest. 8 chargers for $9 billion. Think of them as a tank for filling up your gas. Think of it. They spent $9 billion on 8 chargers, 3 of which didn't work. And if you were going to do this all over our country, this crazy electric mandate, if you're going to do this all, and by the way, I'm all for electric. They have their application. But if somebody wants to buy a gas-powered car, gasoline-powered car, or a hybrid, they're going to be able to do it. And we're going to make that change on day one. So to conclude,
Yes,
just a
nigga.
few short days ago, my journey with you nearly ended. We know that.
So we're gonna
And
start
yet,
with assassination
here
and
we
stop
are
with
tonight, all gathered
Oh,
together,
my
talking
God.
about the future
Yeah.
promise and a total renewal of a thing we love very much. It's called America. We live in a world of miracles. None of us knows God's plan or where life's adventure will take us. I want to thank Franklin Graham for being here tonight. He's an outstanding man. He wrote me a note recently. I have a lot of respect for him. Sir, I love your storytelling. I think it's great in front of these big rallies. But, sir, please do me one favor. It won't make any difference. Please don't use any foul language. I was a little embarrassed. I said, he said, it won't make any difference. Actually, it does. The story's not quite as good, but I've been very good. The story is not quite as good, to be honest. I've got to have a little talk with Franklin, but he was great. He's a great gentleman. His father was so incredible, Billy Graham. My father used to love taking me to see Billy Graham. My father would take me to see Billy Graham at Yankee Stadium. He had the biggest rallies you've ever seen. He was a good rally guy, too. But he'd get up, and he was a fantastic guy. My father loved Billy Graham. But I love Franklin Graham. I think Franklin's been fantastic, and I'm working so hard to adhere to his note to me. I'm working hard on it, Franklin. But if the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on
Don't
earth
you dare go to
is a
sleep
gift
in
from
this
God.
great American speech.
All right, man. I'm trying to stay up, man. I'm doing my best.
We have to make the most of every day for the people and for the country that we love. The attacker in Pennsylvania wanted to stop our movement, but the truth is the movement has never been about me. It has always been about you. It's your movement. It's the biggest movement in the history of our country by far. Can't be stopped. It can't be stopped. It has always been about the hardworking, patriotic citizens of America. For too long, our nation has settled for too little. We settled for too little. We've given everything to other nations, to other people. You have been told to lower your expectations and to accept less for your families. I am here tonight with the opposite message. Your expectations are not big enough. Not big enough.
I get
It
it.
is time to start expecting and demanding the best leadership in the world, leadership that is bold, dynamic, relentless, and fearless. We can do that. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. But as long as our energies are spent fighting each other, our destiny will remain out of reach. And that's not acceptable. We must instead take that energy and use it to realize our country's true potential and write our own thrilling chapter of the American story. We can do it together. We will unite. We are going to come together, and success will bring us together. It is a story of love, sacrifice, and so many other things. And remember the word devotion. It's unmatched devotion. Our American ancestors crossed the Delaware, survived the icy winter at Valley Forge,
Yeah, and they
and
murdered the
defeated
fuck
a
out of
mighty
everybody.
empire to establish our cherished republic. They fought so hard, they lost so many. They pushed
What they did.
thousands and thousands of miles across the
Smallpox
dangerous
blankets and just
frontier,
bludgeoning their way
taming
across
the
the U.S.
wilderness to build a life and a
Exactly right.
magnificent home for their family. They packed their families into covered wagons, trekked across hazardous trails, scaled towering mountains, and braved rivers and rapids to stake their claim on the wide open, new, and very beautiful frontier. When our way of life was threatened, American patriots marched onto the battlefield, raced into enemy strongholds, and stared down death and stared down those enemies to keep alive the flame of freedom. At Yorktown, Gettysburg, and Midway, they joined the roll call of immortal heroes. So many, just so many heroes, so many great, great people. And we have to cherish those people. We can't forget those people. We have to cherish those people.
Which ones?
And building monuments to those great people is
Oh
a good
God,
thing, not a
no,
bad
he's talking
thing.
about the Confederates.
They saved our country.
Yeah, he's talking about the Confederacy.
No
Yeah, he
challenge was too much. No hardship was too great. No enemy was too fierce. Together, these patriots soldiered on and endured, and they prevailed because they had faith in each other, faith in their country, and above all, they had faith in their God. Just like our ancestors, we must now come together, rise above past differences. Any disagreements have to be put aside and go forward, united as one people, one nation, pledging allegiance to one great, beautiful, I think it's so beautiful, American flag. Tonight, I ask for your partnership, for your support, and I am humbly asking for your vote. I want your vote.
Even if I have to buy
I
it.
want to make our country great again.
Even if I have to buy it.
Every day I will strive to honor the trust you have placed in me, and I will never, ever let you down. I promise that. I will never let you down.
Well, get off the fucking stage, bro.
To all
did
of the
already, bro.
forgotten men and women who have been neglected, abandoned, and left behind, you will be forgotten no longer. We will press forward, and together we will win, win, win.
Same old stuff, man. Same old stuff.
Shut up. Go,
Win,
go,
win,
go.
win, 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 win.
You
Nothing
KO'd
will
these two.
sway us. Nothing will
man.
slow us, and no one will ever stop us.
All right.
No matter what dangers come our way, no matter what obstacles lie in our path, we will keep striving toward our shared and glorious destiny, and we will not fail. We
Biden,
will
if
not
you were
fail.
dropping the fuck out, you got to tell them motherfuckers, psych!
Together, we will save this country. We will restore the republic, and we will usher in the rich
You're running
and
away
wonderful
from this?
tomorrows that our people so truly
You run away
deserve,
from this?
America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger,
What the
freer,
fuck?
greater, and more united than ever before.
Uh-oh. He's about to end this shit. He's about to end it. Cheeseheads with the Trump hat on, man. Damn.
And quite simply put, we will very quickly make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Wisconsin. God bless you. God bless you, Wisconsin, and God bless the United States of America, our great country. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
That is former President Donald J. Trump delivering his.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Before we get started, while listening to this thing, I thought three things. And you know where I'm going with this, Nico.
Go ahead.
Hey, what the fuck is going on here? What's this nigga talking about? Oh my God! What did we just see? What did we just see? What just happened?
Oh
my God!
This man's over here yodeling. Yodeling. He's over here yodeling. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Renaissance, man. What's going on, man?
RM.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, that was painful.
Ooh.
Man.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with your
loader
jokes.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Dude, if you stay your ass home during this election, man, you get what you deserve, bro. You get
Oh
what
boy.
you deserve. Man,
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know. Oh my God.
The wild thing is that was one of the that speech was so low energy. And the wild thing was when Trump was talking unity at the beginning, you could tell he wasn't being himself.
Yeah, man. He wasn't feeling that shit, man.
People
He wasn't feeling that shit.
Yeah, he started getting excited when he could talk about people and start attacking Democrats.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, you could just tell this stuff was scripted, and they said, "Hey, you need to show unity." Like this dude, that speech was like a 3 or a 2. It was bad.
Nah, man. This is what he thought, man. This is what he really, really fucking thought. Man, this is what he thought. He's sitting there and he was being nice and shit. Ain't hearing that shit, man.
I ain't prejudiced. I don't give a fuck.
This is what it sounds like. Yeah, man. And that's what he was on, man. It's bro.
The sad part too is the people in the crowd. They looked like they were just loving it. People just they were loving every minute of this guy just rap. That stuff was so incoherent. You can't even look back on this guy was talking about the border to tax cuts to
bro, hungry. Everybody afraid of hungry.
Yeah, I'm like, bro.
And everybody knows Viktor Orban is a dictator, and this guy's praising him. I mean, you have to really sit down and really look at, when people really sit back and really break this apart and pull this apart.
Trump secure.
This is it, man. This is it. I'm looking at Ronan Unsung. Ronan, you got me laughing here, bro. I gotta hold back for a minute on that one, bro. Oh man, oh Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh.
This was ever the dance with the gorilla speech that I've ever fucking seen, man. Bro. Like,
Oh, man.
Biden, if you are stepping the fuck down, you gotta tell the motherfuckers like, hey man, but did you see that? Did you just see that shit? Gotta have your boy back.
I'm just saying that you guys heard it. I'm not saying anything else. You guys heard this. I mean, we sat here and listened to this. I mean, this was it was like watching paint dry. But I mean, but just look at the
Oh my God.
the content that was in this, and I'm telling you, you go through this speech piece by piece, you're gonna be able to rip this guy apart, man.
Nah, man.
Regardless,
Yeah,
there are too many
I
things.
suggest you not go through the speech. You know, there's enough pain in the world. You don't have to add to it by going through this speech. I'm telling you, man, you're gonna get somebody hurt.
This
You
is
go through this
meandering.
speech. You go through this speech. You're gonna have some pre-existing conditions. I'm just saying. Okay, so how the media is going to spin this? How you gonna spin this speech, right? This is the debate performance that should have you step the fuck down. This is the performance that have people questioning everything that's going on inside your head. This is the performance. Not a guy who had a cold, probably took some cough medicine. Not that guy. This guy, this performance is the performance that people should be questioning.
Yeah, this was this was bad news. This is bad news, but I don't know what else to say. RM, you got anything else to say on this?
Yeah, Renaissance, it is your fault because if you had showed up earlier, none of this shit would have happened, man. None of it. No Graham, no Kid Rock. Like, bro, the speech was supposed to be about you. You brought all these fucking kids. And Hulk Hogan is the first person. Oh my God. Oh man.
Nah, Mehdi Hassan was tweeting. He was like, yo, the party of Lincoln, the party of Eisenhower, like, even the party of Reagan, like, you just had Hulk Hogan come up and introduce you, and then you just went on like an hour and a half ramble for a speech.
1.5 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy. and I bet he probably picked these people. That's the wild thing. The only thing I'm surprised he didn't do is leave to like playing YMCA or something.
Yeah. And sashaying off the stage. It would have been the best. It would have been the best. I don't know what we just watched or why we just watched it. And guess what? I can tell you right now. BGS predicted it. That's all I got to say.
No, he predicted it 2 years ago.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He predicted this 2 years ago. Anyway,
I was telling you guys, in between the Gynocracy and Black Pill Daily, they point to shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look, this was
think about this.
A meandering. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the wild thing is this is the nomination. Like, we're gonna have the DNC, so we'll see we'll contrast these two in about 3 weeks. But think about this, like, this was like you at the RNC saying, and you have to, if you're someone who ran for president in that room, you have to just be behind the scenes, just being like what the hell is going on? Like, this is the person we nominated for, like, this person went through the primaries, got all the votes, and this is who we are nominating for president of the United States. And he just got up on stage and rambled for an hour and a half incoherently. I don't see how you are anyone sane or have any sort of talent and can stand like being in that room knowing like this is where your party is at this point.
This dude shit the bed and started breakdancing in the shit for an hour and a half. And we had to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It was painful, but you got certain people in the manosphere talking about, oh, Trump was shot. Oh my God, he feels black man's pain now. Like you have a lot of these people on some recent trolling Trump shit. None of these people covered the RNC, and I can guarantee you, if they watch that speech like we did, oh, the reaction is going to be brutal. He's not going to get a bump from his speech, man.
No,
He
I want to see what the I want to see what people
It
like
was
Morning Joe say
incoherent
tomorrow.
and meandering. It was an incoherent, meandering diatribe. That's what this was. Incoherent, meandering diatribe, man. This guy was all over the place, making no sense. Not any policy or anything was even spoken of. He just said what he's going to do, and I can do it all. And we've heard this all before, man.
But it's just going to be better. He's going to cure cancer, and it's just going to be better. He's going to bring all the jobs back, because all the jobs left when Biden got in office, right?
Dude, like I said, the fact that someone literally would look at this and think that's who I want leading my country.
The whole thing.
Nah, I want to see what people like Morning Joe actually have to say about this.
Oh,
Because this was bad.
Oh my God! That's going to be that's going to be destruction. But I wonder what what the other mediums are gonna come out there with on this one, because they've been kind of in the tank for him, but I wonder how they're going to handle this one, man. I wonder how they're gonna handle this one. This was something else. That's all. That's how they close out their convention. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
This is how they close it out.
Yeah, I'm reading Twitter right now. Apparently during the street speech, I missed this. Trump pointed at Scott Walker and said he's doing a great job as a governor, even though he hasn't been the governor since 2019.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like I said, I just want to see the reaction. And it was so long, it's just like you gave them
All right.
so much ammunition.
Okay, so let me correct something in the chat here. Morning Joe is not canceled.
No, it isn't. You canceled.
They canceled their coverage during their bullshit breaking news of 24-hour Trump coverage, and they didn't allow them to come on air. They didn't cancel the show. They canceled their actual time slot to keep the ratings up about the hysteria about Trump's assassination. But they still do have a job at MSNBC. They do. So just wanted to correct that. Is their show good? No, I can't stand their show. I mean, they're right now, but it's so much shit that Morning Joe has done over the years, and especially during the Bush administration from the start of it. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I guess he said he wanted to make a break because he looked at it from the standpoint of the Republicans not being conservative enough.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, man. So, is there anything else we could possibly add to what we just witnessed?
I can add nothing. I could add nothing else to it. I think this really spoke for
I
itself.
want to hear from these black Trump supporters after that speech. I don't want to hear nothing else. I just want to hear from them.
Oh, I can tell you what they're going to say. This doesn't mean anything anyway. You're still going to win. Doesn't mean anything. That's what they're going to say.
And I'm sorry, we're going to have to do a whole show on like, just because you had an assassination attempt against you and you live, that doesn't guarantee you the presidency. It doesn't guarantee you the presidency at all.
Obviously, you can see that tonight. That's obvious. That's obvious.
I'm not saying I wanted him to be killed at all.
No, not at all.
But at the end of the day, you got to bring some shit to the fucking table to do for people, man. Bro, you gotta reckon, dude. He said no policy. He just said a whole bunch of gobbledygooktized bullshit, and it's like we have to have the burden of providing policy, and they just have the burden of just showing the fuck up. It's unfair like a motherfucker. I don't know what to say. So, Nagone, you got anything else before we get up out of here?
No, MOT. I think I heard about all I needed to hear tonight.
About a half hour in.
I think I heard all I needed to hear tonight, and thank you very much for inviting me up. Thank you.
All right, Renaissance man. Any thoughts on how this is going to be spun by the media, or your comments at all about this atrocity that we just witnessed?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say, I was looking at Twitter. NBC News said it was a long speech. Some people fell asleep that were around us.
That's been pretty nice.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. This was
Wait a minute. Fell asleep at work?
No, around. No. You talking about people in the crowd, like around.
Yeah.
Them, literally fell asleep.
That's when they start turning the camera, the lights off. You saw that? They started turning the lights off on some of the crowd, man.
Yeah. So, like I said, I just want to see what everyone's reaction is tomorrow because
oh yeah,
this was bad.
This better be the same type of reaction after Joe Biden's so-called poor performance at the debate. This is way worse than that.
Yeah.
Far worse than that.
Yeah. Oh, low energy. But anyway, but thanks about you. Thanks for coming on.
All right, cool. Thanks for having. Thanks for coming on, man. All right, and for everybody else watching, make sure that you register to vote and make sure that you show up. I don't care who you are voting for. That is none of my business. Most of you guys don't live in Colorado where things work. I just want your stuff to work like our stuff works. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. You guys have a really nice rest of y'all day. See you this weekend. Peace.